Welcome to East Texas Red Barn Cooking with your guy, Texas T. Texas T here. You're ready. It's time to do some cooking, y'all. Hey, folks, Texas T here at the Red Barn. We're going to do some ribs today. A buddy of mine and I, years ago, we were indulging a little too much Texas tea at the time, and we were going to do ribs. And we made a mistake that turned out to work fantastic. It's really, I don't even know why we decided to do it this way. I got too much Texas tea, I guess. But anyway, so we're going to do these ribs that way, start them that way, and I'll explain it all here in just a few. Now here are the rib that I'm going to throw on. Is a spare rib, and I do spare ribs sometimes. Sometimes I do baby backs, but spare ribs are always a little less expensive, so that's what we're going to do. And I've always been a big advocate about pulling the membrane off of the back of this thing. Now, I always take this strip of flap that lays over here on your St. Louis style or spare ribs, and I always cut that off. Now, we're not throwing that away. That's too meaty there. That is not getting thrown away. That will be cooked. But not with my ribs. But I've decided, or I've seen, that you can actually score this and it comes out just as good. So we're going to test that theory. Instead of pulling this membrane off, I am going to trim up this fat a little bit here. But we're going to score that membrane, and let's just see if it's true what they say. We'll find out. All right, we've got these ribs all scored up on the back. Like I said, I'm typically an advocate of pulling that membrane off, but we're going to try it this way. I've heard about it, and we'll see how good it works. So we're going to season this all up. I've got a season that somebody bought me. I usually put on my own rub. I make my own rub. Typical rubs, they're all typically the same. With pork and stuff, you have sugars and some spices and whatever. Beef, I usually don't use sugar in my personal seasonings that I make for my beef. But nonetheless, someone bought me this, and it's for pork, called Smoking Booty Rubs, and there's 3 of them in it. KC butt rub some butt, and pig's ass rub. So we're going to use pig's ass rub, Memphis style barbecue seasoning. We're going to put these on our ribs. Sounds wonderful. All right, I'm going to cut these ribs in half. People freak. They don't know what the hell I'm doing, but there's a method to my madness, and like I said, me and the Mike D did this accidentally, and they turned out wonderful. So we'll let you know about that here pretty soon. Let me get these cut in half and seasoned up. All right, so we have these ribs seasoned up. Let's see if I can show you. I seasoned them up pretty well with this rub that I believe my sister bought me. Again, it's a pig's ass rub, Memphis style. That's kind of surprised with the smell of it. It has, reading the ingredients, I'm not going to read it all, boring, but malic acid and citric acid, and then not more than 2% something. But it has a very strong smell. Almost burned my nose when I was smelling it. like a pickly smell, almost like a vinegar type smell, but it doesn't say there's any vinegar in there unless that's one of those words that mean vinegar. Or maybe it's the citric acid or the malic acid. I don't know. Smells good. It has a good smell to it. But I wasn't expecting to take a big whiff and, burn the hairs on my nose. Anyway, it's on there, and we're getting ready to throw this on the grill here in I'm going to leave it on here about a half an hour. And on the grill it goes. We'll see how it comes out. All right, now we're going to do some chicken. Got the ribs over there. They're cut, seasoned, and waiting. And we got to do some chicken for the gin. Now, I use anything that I'm going to grill, not smoke, slow cooked or whatever. But if I'm grilling it on the grill, it's going to have Worcestershire sauce on it. I use a lot of it. So like this chicken here, as you can see, I cover it in Worcestershire. Anything I grill, steaks, whatever. It's my thing. You know what, folks? Do it. What pleases you makes you happy. So this time for the chicken, we're going to do something different. I have a chicken rub, or a chicken spice, chicken seasoning that I use. There's several different ones that I use sometimes. But in this box that my sister bought, Smoking Booty Rubs, there's a rub some butt. And you know what? Busting with vinegar, mustard, spice, and I'm like, you know what? That'd be good on chicken. So I'm going to rub some butt on my chicken. You know why? Because there are no rules when it comes to smoking and cooking meat. You do what you want to do. You do what sounds good to you. You do what makes you happy. So we're going to rub some butt on our chicken and get those on the grill. Oh, mammy, it's going to be good. All right, folks, we're coming over to my grill and to deal with these ribs. Now, like I said, this is not typical. Most people do with ribs. But this is something that my buddy and I, Mike D and I, did a long time ago. And they came out really good. So basically what I did was put them on the grill on high heat over here and seared them real good on each side. And then, of course, I'm taking them off to the side to indirect the heat. Keeping two of my burners on. I got a 6-burner grill here, and we're going to let these things sit here and slow cook for a couple of hours. This is a temperature gauge that I added myself to this grill because it didn't have any. So I bought a couple and drilled the holes and put them in myself. So we'll let you know how this goes. Now we're just doing a little update on the ribs. All right, they're barely starting to pull away from the bone a little bit. I've been cooking about 225, right at 225 actually. And they've been on there for probably 2 hours now. What I'm actually going to do is pull these ribs off and put them over here on my smoker, let them finish cooking because I've already taken the chuck roast off of here. So I'm going to pull my ribs off, let them continue to cook there because I have chicken and shrimp to cook over on the grill. So what Mike D and I did was we cut them in half. We threw them on the grill right on top of the heat, not knowing what we were doing back then. Got to drinking, forgot about them. Next thing we knew, we had fire coming all out of the grill. They were on fire, crisping up, getting burned. We thought we destroyed them. So we just laughed, threw them over on the indirect heat, let them sit for a few hours, figured they were no good. Yet these are the results that we got right here. Enjoy. Very tasty and tender.